Hey, I'm Big Sam, and I've done it the wrong way for a long, long time. Today, today I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which usually I talk about my favorite subjects is, well, it's the Big Sam podcast, and I'm Big Sam, and I get to pick and choose what I want to talk about. Today, I actually want to talk about one of my favorite people, and that's my dad. Uh, this podcast lesson is real simple. It's things I learned from my dad. Won't teach you any of the words I learned from my dad. But that's a different story. Uh, some of the most important lessons in life don't come from school. Matter of fact, my dad had very little schooling. My dad didn't give long speeches unless, well, even when he delivered a butt chewing, it was he made it quick, got to the point, and you knew what was right, you knew what was wrong, you knew how he stood, you knew what to do, you knew what not to do. He taught a lot by example. Uh, I could just watch him and I knew what to do. I actually got to give my dad's eulogy, and one of the points that I made was, hey, us kids, grandkids, one day you're going to ask yourself, what would Papa do? What would Dad do? What would Speedy do? And you'll know the answer because you've seen him do it. There's a lot of things that I learned from my dad. Just want to share a couple with you. We'll pull the curtain back here. My dad wasn't perfect. Those of you that knew my dad would know that. His three ex-wives would tell you that if they were here today. I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot of things from him on the bad habits, things that I've had to deal with. That's a story for a different day. I learned what not to do. I learned by watching him. I learned some things not to do that I didn't do. I learned some things that I shouldn't do that I did do. That's just pulling the curtain back. Pull the curtain back a little bit further, a little bit of backstory. When I say my dad, I was born to a single mom. I'm the third child. My father had left shortly before I was born. My dad came into the picture shortly after I was born. From the time I was 3, 4, 5, he was my dad. When I was around 9 or 10, he adopted me and my siblings. So from that point on, he was dad. There was no stepdad, there was no anything. I am proud to be adopted. At the time of filming this episode this morning, the sermon, Pastor Mark's sermon at Church of the Highlands was on adoption and what it means to be adopted. And I absolutely love it when we talk about how our Father God has adopted us, because I was adopted by one of the best men I ever knew. So my upbringing, was it less than perfect? Yeah. Was my dad less than perfect? Yeah. I learned so much from him, though. And I've got a handful of those things we're going to talk about today. There's not going to be any great lesson on, not going to do the 3 points on how you should improve, but I'm going to give you the things that I learned from him. Number one, work hard. Show up. Be on time. Get after it. Hard work builds character. If you want something in life, work for it. If you want that thing, earn it. Government grants, handouts, things like that, nope. He would borrow money to do his business deals, and he would pay it right back. Work isn't about a paycheck, it reflects who you are. My dad worked hard. I remember he would get up in the morning, he would be gone when I'd get up to go to school. He'd come in the evenings, he would take a little nap, and then go work again. Did it all the time. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Number two, treat others with respect. Treat everyone right. Doesn't matter their title or position. Dad could talk to the bank manager the same way he could talk to the guy down the street, the guy that couldn't help him, the guy that was needing help from him. And he always encouraged us to treat other people with respect. I couldn't imagine what would have happened if it had got back to my dad that I was disrespectful to another adult or to another human being. So treat others with respect. Help others when you can. My dad would help people. Somebody'd come by needing some money or needing to borrow something or needing a hand. In his younger days, Dad could outwork physically anybody. Was a big, strong man, and he would help people. You could count on him if you needed him. But don't be an enabler. Helping and enabling are two different things. He would help you, but if you felt like you were taking advantage of him, or if you were being dependent, if you weren't trying to get out of your own situation, you would need more help. That's just the way it was, and he would remember that. Sometimes people have to face consequences of their decisions in order to grow. Believe me, I saw this in my own life. There were times where I'd get myself in a hole. He would be there at arm's length, standing at the sidelines, making sure I got out of it, but he would let me get out of it. He would allow me to dig out of that hole myself. So don't be an enabler. Check on others. Don't assume people are okay. This is the lesson I learned from him, watching him do this, and I wish I could do it as well as he did. But I'm working on it. He would check on other people. He would, give people a quick call or a quick text. Now, my dad never sent a text. Didn't know what texting was. But if we hadn't spoken in a while, I knew I could count on looking down at my caller ID and it would say Dad. For some reason, the way mine was put in my phone, it said Dad, and that was great. But I'd answer it and I'd hear, "Hey, what you doing?" And then there'd be an hour-long conversation because he would love to catch up and see what was going on in my life. He would do my brother and sister the same way. People need to know that somebody cares. Believe me, I've tried to model that myself, either giving a quick call, a quick text, like we talked about with Ed Milet a couple of weeks ago, or previous podcast. I'll shoot a video to let you know I care. Tell people you love them. Don't wait too long. I'd hear, and I wish I could hear it again. Love you, boy. Say it while people can hear it. 1 Corinthians 16:14. Let all that you do be done in love. Not only would he say it, I knew it. I did. I knew the old man loved me. Have fun. Oh my goodness, my dad. And again, those of y'all that knew him, my dad's nickname and honestly was his name was Speedy, and I could hear all kinds of stories. People would tell me, people didn't know me, found out I was Speedy's son. Oh man, your dad had fun. Your dad was always doing something. Your dad was a character. Your dad was larger than life. He had a good time. In my younger days, we would go to some of the local establishments with him, and man, I loved watching him have a good time, and he made sure everybody around him had a good time. So life doesn't have to be serious all the time. I get my sense of humor from him. Laugh. Enjoy the moment. Whatever that moment is, enjoy it. Have a good time. Do what you're doing. Make memories. When you're gone from this life and people think back at something you did and smile, you've done something. And I can assure you, my dad got all that he could get out of life, and I've tried to model that. And last, speak life into others. And to be honest, I added this topic later because when I was thinking through all these, I thought of a great instance about my dad. It's one of my most proud moments of being Speedy's son. There was a gentleman, and a lot of you that, if you're friends of mine, you may know this guy. His name's Jay Beggs. Jay grew up in Hokes Bluff, same as I did. He was a little bit older than me. Jay was fullback on the football team. And he won't mind me saying this. I'm gonna share a little bit of his testimony. Jay was a redneck and a hellraiser. I don't know much other way to put that. Jay, if you're listening, I hope you understand. he was quite the character, and didn't have a great upbringing, to be honest. And it showed in his actions, and we're talking late teens. And he would act out. He would do things that, that honestly didn't know any better, didn't have the great upbringing. But years later, and I remember, let me back up a little bit more. We owned the local arcade/pool hall. I say we, I was 12. My dad owned it and ran it, and us kids worked there. And Jay would come in and, typical hell-raising style. Sometimes he'd start a fight. Sometimes, he'd just be a little argumentative, a little Jay. It was, just the way he was. And Dad would get involved, and Dad would kick him out. So years later, I was talking to Jay, and he said, I was rough around the edges, kind of like what I just told you. He said, but your dad was the only adult in our hometown in Hokes Bluff that thought that there was any good in me. And I remember I would see Dad and Jay sitting talking after some of these incidents. And Dad was speaking life into Jay, telling him what he could be, how he could do it. When I saw Jay, when he told me that story, Jay was preaching at a funeral. Jay is an on fire, in love with Jesus, ambassador for Christ. Again, at the time of this filming a few weeks ago, Jay was on a medical mission trip in South Central America, one of those countries I can't pronounce, taking other people with him, taking Jesus to the people there. When I say medical, he's a nurse, doing very well. And a little part of that is because my dad spoke life into him. And believe me, when I heard that story, that meant the world to me. So, go back through and recap, show you how good of a note taker I am. I did not summarize all those at the end. Things I learned from my dad: work hard, treat others with respect, help others if you can. Don't be an enabler. Check in on others. Tell people you love them, have fun, and speak life into others. Those are the things I learned from my dad. The older I get, the more I appreciate those lessons. A good father leaves more than memories. He leaves values that keep living long after he's gone. I've said this before, and I've posted on social media before. I like to woodwork a little bit. Not real good at it, but I like it. So the two greatest influences in my life while they were on earth were both carpenters. My dad owned businesses, but he was also a carpenter, loved to build. Some days I'm in my shop thinking about Jesus, listening to praise and worship music. Some days I'm in my shop thinking about my dad, and I've got on Merle Haggard and Buck Owens. A legacy. When I think of my dad, I can't help but smile. A good father leaves more than memories. He leaves values that keep living long after he's gone. If you had a dad like that, honor him. Share his story, whether it be on a podcast or to your buddies. Honor him. Honor him by doing the things he did. If you're a parent now, be that person for your kids. Be that person for a youngster that's watching. If you don't have kids, or even if you do, pass that on to somebody else. Pass that on to the next Jay Beggs. Move someone else's needle. Believe me, my dad moved a lot of needles. Move some on the speedometer on a car, that's a different story. Move somebody else's needle. If this impacted you, be sure to like it, share it, forward it, tell other people about it. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.